kind of a nice moment. I mean, we've got the two hitmen playing off against each other. I think whoever wins probably will put the bounty. I think if Neil wins, he definitely puts the bounty on someone else. If Tom wins, he probably does. So we could see a new hitman crowned at the end of this. So
I don't know. I think if I'm Neil, you probably do, simply because you don't want it on your head. But for Tom, he probably goes down the route of what Jack Whelan was trying to do. He would, and going by last year, and let's go just on rankings alone, he'd put the hitman onto. Oh, what a strange opening shot from Tom Cousins, and he's coming out cold.
Well, we've hyped him up for a day and a half, and his first shot is to screw the cue ball into the corner pocket.
I will just finish what I was saying, that if Tom was to win this match, and of course this is the last match where Christy Caulfield has any grace, so he's back in with a chance of playing from next match onwards, I suspect what Tom would look to do is probably put the bounty onto either Christy or Josh Kane's head, play one of them, hope to beat them, and then play the one he put the bounty on match 3. That would probably be the plan, but he's got to win to be able to do that. Of course, Neil's hoping to win. He gets himself guaranteed 4th place if he does. And he's got an opportunity to start quickly here.
The hot seat won't be in play after this, so if Neil wins, he'll win 3 in a row. He'll be out of the arena and have 1 match's grace, but then will be available for selection. As you say, there'll only be 4 players left by that point. We've obviously been waiting with bated breath for Tom to appear, but I mean, let's not forget, this is only a race to 4. It's not the ideal format. Tom would rather it was the longest format possible. The shorter the format, the more likely anyone will beat him. He seemed to enjoy this tournament last year, though. Won a lot of matches on his way to winning the title.
8 in total for Tom last year. This year he's going to have to win at least 4 to win the title again, as he'd have to win 3, get himself out the arena, and then potentially back for the 4th, which would be the final. Might be before that as well. How happy are Sean Chipperfield and Josh Kane right now? Neither player's been out in the arena yet.
Yeah, what a result. 6 players left in a tournament. There'll be 5 by the time either of them has any chance of coming out. So guaranteed 5th place without potting a ball.
I suspect they're both rooting for the opposite player here as well. I think Sean would be fairly comfortable that he's not going to get picked if Tom was to win. And I think Josh is probably thinking he will be picked if Tom wins. Therefore, Josh would want Neil to win to go to a random draw, and Sean the other way round.
Yeah, 100%. I think if Tom wins, if he copies his approach from last year, he's definitely starting with Josh.
Yeah, it's probably worth recapping where we are in terms of players left. Obviously, Tom and Neil out there at the moment. Sean Chipperfield, the next highest ranked player in the draw, in 9th on the seedings. Carl Sutton also still involved. Christy Caulfield, who was brilliant this morning and has sat there without any jeopardy on him for the rest of the day in the hot seat. Of course, now he is eligible to be picked again. And then Josh Kane, who we've not seen just yet, former WEPF World Master champion. I think everybody in the game has been saying how much they respect Josh's game and they expect him to win with Ultimate Pool at some point. Not sure Last Man Standing was the one they were thinking about, but it could be.
Well, it's a great spot to do it. Going to have to win a maximum of 4 matches because you can't come to the table until there's only 5 left. Right now, Tom hasn't exactly covered himself in glory the first couple of shots he's played in this match.
If I remember rightly, obviously slightly longer race when they played last time. Obviously, Neil won his first match of the tournament, then called out Tom Cousins with the second match of the tournament. Just let Neil pop this before I finish my point. Yeah, nicely done from Neil. That's what he's coming here for, the title. Well, he's going to get an opportunity to get going here. He needs to find his rhythm because it is a shorter race than last year. He cannot afford to fall 3-0 behind like last time. And as you said, it was not the best of opening frames from him. 2 visits to the table, both of them poor.
Really asked for a much better position to come to the table. I mean, there's a bit of work to be done, but he's got an easy opening shot, a couple of open balls to at least get himself warmed up with.
Yellow by the 8 ball, yellow by the red, both of them tricky. One by the red is less of a problem. I think it goes the gap bottom right, or it certainly will when you get other yellows out the way, but the one by the 8 ball's the tricky one. And Tom going to attack it straight away. Or is he half a turn short? I think he is. He wanted that one more revolution of the cue ball, just leave that slightly off straight so he can just delicately bump into the 8 ball, and then he's away. He's absolutely plumb straight here, and really hard to force the angle.
The ball above the cue ball does pop along to the top left-hand corner pocket, but not the most tempting shot. The angle's going slightly away from him. Wow, that's remarkable. He's forced an angle there that really didn't exist.
Hasn't worked though. He's opened it up, but he's not on anything.
That's the trouble when you're forcing an angle like that, because you have to put so much pace in, you can't really get much movement on the cue ball. Very easy to get stuck the wrong side of your work. I know he'd played for that shot like that, and I guess it was just too tempting because he felt he could force the angle, but maybe it was worth the reroute and come back for that. So have to bail out of the clearance. Bad shape, but he has left Neil a couple of half chances. Neil should be feeling very pleased with himself. That 6-road shootout was an exceptional time. I think it's the second quickest tournament time we've had, and didn't involve any balls being potted off the break, so 6 balls in 17 seconds. Absolutely flawless. That Brian Halcrow time, I'm not sure will ever be beaten just because he did pot 2 off the break, but that was about as close as you could get.
I think the only time it will be beaten is in that sort of scenario where a player has to go, you know, just all out from going second. I don't see anyone doing it going first, strangely, because you kind of almost don't want to risk missing, and almost you have to risk missing to go that quickly.
Well, I think you also probably have to risk trying to pot a ball off the break, which isn't necessarily what you're trying to do. I mean, Brian actually had a very unconventional break for that 6 red. I think, you know, he hadn't had loads at the time and it was probably a bit less experienced, but it actually turned out so well.
That still remains the only 6 red shootout he's ever done as well. His best ever time is 15:09. His average is 15:09. Something he's very proud of as well.
Yeah,
quite rightly.
Yeah, he's still talking about it, but yeah, I mean, fair enough.
Just for context, he also holds the record for the longest ever frame with ultimate ball as well, 22.5 minutes against Josh Kane. Throw that out there. Hope you're watching, Brian. Hope you're well.
Nice to bookend the records, isn't it? Yeah, it was a great time, and nobody could begrudge him that moment. He was so happy with it, and rightly so.
What an opportunity this is for 2-0 then for Neil. And all of a sudden, cat amongst pigeons here. If Tom was to go on and lose this match, if Tom was to lose, it would leave Carl Sutton as the only remaining former Ultimate Pool champion of any sort out there, which is interesting in itself.
Quite good in those. Either way, I don't think those are going to be the next 2 picks. Josh Kane will be chosen before them, and quite possibly Christy Caulfield, although he played so well. I don't know how you'd really assess whether or not to pick Christy, because in rankings terms he's much lower, but the way he played this morning, you wouldn't be rushing to have a game against him.
I think less likely, the longer this match goes on, that we're going to see that at all anyway. It's could be the random draw for our next match. Both players here, Neil Raybone on the verge. 2-0 here, great chance for 3-0. And we're into the second half of the match, or we will be. in a few seconds' time.
Anticlimactic appearance from our #1 ranked player so far. Kind of understandable though, it's very difficult coming out when you haven't played for ages. It's a quick format. If you don't get off to a good start, sometimes you don't get a chance at all. Just sets the tone, doesn't it? Tom's first shot was just a bit heavy-handed. Maybe if he plays the first safety shot right, this all plays totally differently. Most difficult ball is the one on the left cushion just below where he is now. I think he has just left a route through to it. Can you see enough, or would he have to go cushion first to hit it?
I don't think he can see enough, and that does change things.
He can obviously reroute. He's got other pots on, but he'd then have to go back for the ball on the side cushion, which isn't ideal. So he's going to try and get back for it now.
Very good.
Very good indeed. Look at that, he can put that better with his hand. Could have been in a bit of trouble if he'd had to leave that till later on, but the fact he's got on that, still in good shape. Crucial frame this, he can really put Tom under pressure if he can get a 3-0 lead. The job's not going to be done, but it's not going to be far off. It would have been simpler to play ball bottom left first, but he really didn't want to leave the one to the bottom right corner to be the last ball, because it made it harder to connect up to the black, which is why he forced it the way he did. Should be fine, doesn't need to do too much with the cue ball here, just focus on the pot along the cushion.
Yeah, and the natural line really works, so it's been very good from Neil.
Looks like he's timed everything right tonight. Joined the campaign at a good moment, already in the money. Got better as the matches have gone on. Excellent 6-red time to get him out of a bit of a hole where he'd almost let slip against Ronan McCarthy. And then how well has he started in this match?
Yeah, the only disappointment for him was he won't get to win the bounty on Tom's head. The Be More bounty is because he has one of his own on his head. He's carrying the Omniotherapy bounty. But they'd have to win 3 matches to then get into that position. I wonder, is it reached the time where you just stick it on your own head and just say, yeah, I'll have it if I win the tournament?
The trouble with putting it on your own head is it then makes you a very desirable target. I mean, he's not super desirable because he's going to have played very well here. But
so let's work it through. If there'd be 5 left and he's ineligible for the next match, so by the time he's next potentially in play, there'd be 4 left. So somebody would win. The 2 random players would get drawn out. Somebody would win, and what you're saying is if he puts it on his head, he's more likely to be called out in that match. So yeah, maybe you are right. I think maybe you do hedge your bets a little bit and put it on somebody else's head.
Instinctively, it feels like having the bounty on your own head because you only get it if you win the tournament, and at that point you're already winning quite a lot, so it's maybe not a major increment.
But you can't win it off somebody else's head whilst you're a hitman. So I think, I don't know, the signal of intent, if you put it on your own head to say, I'm playing well, you don't want to pick me. I don't think that would sway too many people, in all honesty. But first things first, he's got to win the match. Tom's in with a chance here, and he can do this quite quickly. And this is off the Neil Raybone break as well, so chance to go back-to-back here and make it an interesting finale here. Not sure that was the plan all the way along to end up having to hammer that one in, but it's gone in all the same.
Definitely wasn't the plan to be 3-0 behind and having to chase this match. But At least he's done the first bit. Got to start the comeback somewhere. Just a reminder for Neil, this isn't going to be a formality.
He's moving across for the cut break. Oh, that 8-ball is fly. Oh. It's a powerful cut break, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, he's normally a man that would almost be embarrassed to have to go looking for a golden break. I think he'd happily take one right now.
To be fair to Tom, even though he has one of the best, one of the greatest ever front ball breaks, he does go to that cut break every now and then. It is in his armoury. We didn't want that to drop.
He's in a hurry now, isn't it?
It makes a huge difference, that yellow dropping to top left. If that stays over the pocket, it's his connection to the 8-ball. Now it's a real problem getting to the 8-ball.
Well, drifted into an exhibition game here. He's really pulling the big shots out. Neil just needs to slow things down, I think. Just calm the match down a bit.
I agree. Almost rushing a little bit is Tom. 4 minutes, 5 minutes when he came, was starting that visit, was quite a long time.
Yeah, and I think Neil doesn't want to get drawn into that. It's not a rush for him. He just needs to take his time.
Oh, it's not a good shot. Still remains the same problem here, though, for Tom, is that getting up to the 8-ball's not easy.
Yeah, Neil was trying to cover the 8-ball there. He's a long way away from doing that. Oh, what a shot this is. What a shot that was from Tom Cousins.
Yeah, and he still needs another one unless he wants to go short side. No, he was trying to... He didn't quite have enough angle to play the shot he wanted to play there. That was the problem he had. 3.5 minutes then for Neil Raybone. More importantly, he's just got to clear up here. I'd almost urge Neil to not even think about the clock. I know there's a potential double that needs to be played, but...
Because Tom's so often ahead in matches, you don't very often see him chasing a finish, but it really feels like he's been chasing. Neil's, well, if you say that was the right shot, I guess he's played it as a kind of shot to nothing. He's obviously going to have to play that shot at some point.
Well, there's a lot of talk about Phil Harrison and his ability on the doubles. Neil is right up there. He is very, very good. And that was almost a hanging over the pocket kind of double as far as a player at Neil's level goes.
Not going to get a better chance than this to beat the 9 times Ultimate Pool champion Tom Cousins. Just going to play one more positional shot, just screw across the face of the 8-ball.
And this 8-ball for it.
Attempting not to cannon the 8-ball, he's just got into it a bit too much, but it still shouldn't be a problem.
Well done, Neil Raybone. Very impressive performance. He knocks out Tom Cousins, knocks him out in 6th place, and he gets himself a match of grace. He gets himself a guaranteed spot in the final 4.
You can add Tom's £500 Be More money onto your own pretty head and have a £1,000 bounty on you, or you can give it to someone else. Who would you like to give it to if you would like to?
I'll give it to someone else. I'll give it to Chippy.
Chippy is now an Ultimate Pool last man standing hitman. There are 4 players still left in other than yourself, Neil, but you have just won 3 in a row, which means for the final time you get a game off. So take your leave. That's you done for the time being. It is now time, though, for our next match, and the only way we can do that is with a random draw. There's 4 players in it: Carl Sutton, Josh Kane, Sean Chipperfield and Christy Caulfield. At this stage, Josh Kane and Sean Chipperfield haven't even touched the table, and they've made it to the final 5. Will they come up in the random draw? It's time to find out. Our next match is coming up. Who is first out of the hat? Chippy! Fresh out of being given hitman status. In you come. Now then, Chippy, you're going to come with me because we're going to watch you get your opponent selected for you. It will be either Christy, Josh, or Carl. Who is it going to be? Carl seems certain to think it's him. Christy Caulfield. The first game he could come back into the arena, and here he is straight away.